Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am continuing my 31 days of horror movie reviews with the first horror film from this year, 2016. It's like the only horror film, I think, that I haven't seen this past year. I did not go to the theaters to see it when it was out back in, I think, February, but it got a lot of great reviews. A lot of people recommended it to me, because I'm always searching for good horror movies. The Witch, like I said, 2016 horror film that was written and directed by Robert Eggers. And the plot is, it takes place in the 17th century New England, which is my home. But it's the 17th century, you can't really relate to that, right? This family is sort of forced to leave this village because their church, they have a disagreement with the church over the New Testament and just their religious beliefs on it. And it creates this whole thing. The father's like, you know what? Good day to you, sir. And they take off. They leave. They go out in the middle of the woods to start a farm and just live out there, raise their family, raise the animals and whatnot. But then weird things start to happen. Their youngest baby gets taken. We don't know by who or why or for what, but all of the blame goes to the oldest daughter, who's played by Anya Taylor-Joy, because she was watching the baby. It was on her watch. But then, over the course of the film, more weird things start to happen. More and more creepy things that can't really be explained. And everybody, including especially the mother, blames the daughter for what's going on. And you got to figure out, is it the daughter? Is she a witch like they think? Or is it this witch that's known to be living out there in the woods that's doing God knows what? Or is it possibly even the church putting some curse on this family for what they did and they're just doomed? Doomed. Now, what I thought of The Witch was, for a movie that was so highly acclaimed, like 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, so many reviews and people really enjoying this film, loving it. I didn't love it. I didn't. I don't hate it. I'm not about to rant and rave about the film and have all of these complaints. I just have some issues with it I guess really made me ultimately not enjoy it as everybody else. Let me first talk about this premise, because the premise I thought was interesting. The fact that this family was so valiant to go against the church and to have a film that is sort of subtly about such religious issues, especially back then when you see how uptight people were about all of this and how serious they took it. I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to see where it would go. When they go out in the woods, in the village, the movie does slow down a lot. It is very slow paced, and it does take a while for like really juicy things to start to happen. And I'm not saying that I can't get into a slow paced movie. I can, but I guess my biggest issue is that because it's the 17th century, because the language is what it is, there were moments where I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Like I needed subtitles. I was trying to listen. I tried to turn the volume up as loud as I could, and there was scenes where I was like, what are you saying? Most other scenes, I was with it. I was okay to follow, but just some scenes, I don't know if it was the language or maybe just maybe mumbling. I don't know. Once the baby got kidnapped, but that's when the stakes are high, of course, and then I thought the witch in the woods was a little creepy. You only see her in fragments, and this family, I thought the acting was good. The father is played by Ralph Ineson. The mother is played by Katie Dickey, and they have two small twins. They have a son named Caleb, and the older daughter, like I said. Now the son, there's a scene where him and his older sister, they're by the river, and I must be crazy unless I saw him actually sort of checking her out a little bit. Like he noticed that she's maybe developing a little bit. She's a teen and he's younger, and maybe he's first starting to get into girls, and there's really no other woman around, right? I'm like, is he into his sister? The movie doesn't really spend a whole lot of time with it. It's just one quick scene, and I'm trying to figure out, what was this common back then? I don't know. maybe I'm crazy. If we're talking about the members of the family, I did feel bad. I did feel the most for the daughter, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, because she felt like a victim. All of the blame was being put on her whenever something crazy happened. And some of the blame you understand, because it's like when you see a bunch of destruction in the barn and like the animals are dead, but she's just laying there still alive, and you're like, well, who the hell else did this? But we as an audience, we know that at least we think she's a victim. And I just felt bad for her, especially the mom was really rough on her and just really shutting her out. You get some creepy moments with the farm animals, like there's a goat who just, a black goat who just like attacks one of the members of the family. And I was like, what the hell? You get a rabbit who is almost stalking the family, sitting out there in the woods, staring at them for who knows what reason. But the mystery was still keeping me interested. I still was like, okay, as much as I might not be loving these moments or might not be understanding all of the dialogue, or like the movie shot well, it looks great. It's the atmosphere, the cinematography is able to put you in the woods with them, makes you feel like you're there with them, and claustrophobic because it's out in the middle of nowhere. So all of that is true until we got to the ending. Now, I'm not going to give away the ending. I'm not going to spoil it because this movie's still fairly recent, so I don't want to do that. But when we got to this ending, I literally said, what the fuck? Like, what the hell is this? This is one of the most cliche type of endings, where it's just one of those endings where it almost undoes everything I was just watching, and you almost don't know what's real and what's not anymore. Like, what does this mean? And I stopped caring after that. It's one of those deals where it's not terrible, it's not horrible. Hell, most people love this movie and say it's one of the scariest movies ever. That's fine. I didn't have that feeling. Maybe it's just not for me. Maybe it's just not my type of horror film. I wish it was better. I wish I could be singing its praise like most people, but I can't. I can't pretend like I loved it. I do respect some things about it though. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of The Witch? Did you see it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Or did you not really care for it like me? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Please won't you save my desires on fire? Sometimes you need a little peace at home. I'm tired, so I